Hello and welcome to Eastern Horizon. This is Malika Yubsambul. A sad incident has took place in Islamabad where 14 children, newly born children, has been burnt into one of the largest hospital of Islamabad, that is called the Pakistan Institute of Medical Sciences. So the issue becomes the global headlines and a lot of parents who was there, they rescued their children, and the prime minister also took notice about this incident. From Islamabad right now I have joined by Faisal Kamal Pasha. He's a journalist, and Qurrat, she is also an analyst, and we would like to know about the current situation in Islamabad and what would be the further action by the government. Thank you very much from joining Islamabad. Faisal Kamal, about this incident, that what happened in Islamabad, and mean that this incident, how it's unfolding, and especially that who is taking the responsibility of this incident.
Yes, I'm right just in front of the place where this incident took place in the morning this day. As you know, this is a very important day. Eid Miladun Nabi is being celebrated in the country all around. At 6:38, the AC system sparked, and all of a sudden it caught fire. And the babies, the newborn babies, were admitted to the nursery. They have been taken care of for the reasons they have been going through. And we just heard the press conference of the Federal Minister for Health, Mustafa Kamal, who arrived here, and he said that it was just beyond repair because all of a sudden the fire engulfed the whole area, and it spread in the whole area, and there was no time to do some rescue work and to prevent the losses. Uh, the people here, we have seen number of people aggrieved, they protested, and they were just angry by administration and the people at the helm of affairs, and the federal government has constituted an inquiry committee to fix the charges. An FIR is already been lodged in this regard. But as a matter of fact, it was quite an unfortunate incident, and we have seen that the rescuers who arrived here, you can see behind me there are a few broken windows from where the rescue officials got entered after breaking these windows, and there were the other regular pathways were blocked. The gate was locked. A very tragic incident we have seen from since the morning. The parents, some of the parents lost their first baby. Some of the parents who got a baby after 10 years since their marriage.
Okay,
So they
so
were aggrieved, and they were protesting against the government for this negligence. The government, on the other hand, is trying to hush the anger. It constituted the inquiry committee. It removed the secretary health from its position. The executive director of the hospital came under fire. But right now, there is nothing could repair the losses of the parents.
okay, so let me go to Qurrat and Shirazi. So you were there in the hospital early in the morning when this incident happened. How you saw? I mean that the especially the images and the overall situation on that scene. What was the reaction from the parents at that time?
So, according to the rescue officials, they received the call around 6:54 a.m. in the morning, and according to them, in 1 minute they left the premises, and then they reached the PIMS Hospital Children building around 7:01 a.m. And according to them, they reached in within 6 minutes after they received the call from the concerned administration. And when I got here, there are several emergency exits of this specific building. We are standing outside right now, and but according to the rescue officials, they were not able to enter the premises or the building concerned, operation theater with a the first room was of the operation theater, second was the incubation center, the third was of the nursery. So of all these three rooms, they were not able to enter through the emergency exits of either of the rooms. So according to them, and then after a few minutes, they broke the wall, and then they entered through the window after breaking the glasses of the window panes. They entered the operation theater, and it's right behind me right now, where they uh, where they attacked the wall, and then they broke the wall, and then they got entered through windows, not from the main doors. And interestingly, apart from these emergency exits, which were not opening, the main doors of all these three rooms or these concerned areas, they were not open. They were locked, they were shut, and they could not reach out. They could not enter the incubation center where the babies were. And according to the local administration of Islamabad, the administration says that the fire erupted because of the air conditioning system they have in the rooms. And after uh, oxygen shortage, several babies died because of suffocation, and some of them died because they got burned. And according to the administration, the PIMS hospital spokesperson says that at least 14 children have died, and most of them died due to suffocation. And
Hmm.
I think, after 6 hours, the 6 or 5 hours, after more than 5 hours, the executive director reached at the premises, who's the main guy we have in the hospital, the executive director. He reached at the spot, and then he started talking to the media. The media asked him questions, but he was not able to answer them fully, and he could not answer what they were asking. Also,
Okay.
the question remains as to how the emergency exits could not be opened, despite
Okay.
security officials being there at the spot. And they also claim that, interestingly, the ED executive director, and I talked to the secretary health as well, who has been suspended right now, who got suspended after, I think, 4 hours of the incident, 5 hours of the incident. He told me that there were at least four officials in the concerned area, and nothing happened to them, interestingly. And the locals and the citizens we have in Islamabad, and we had them in the morning, who surrounded the concerned area, they kept on asking the questions to the Secretary Health and the Executive Director. If the babies died, those hospital officials, either the
Hmm.
doctors and paramedics or the nurses, all of them were fine. How would they find? So they were raising a lot of questions, and for some hours, for several hours, the bodies were not handed over to families. On one side, the PIMS spokesperson, Dr. Aniza, said that all the bodies of the babies have been handed over. But on the other hand, we've seen some people, some family members, who were still asking as to when they would be getting their babies' bodies, their family members, and these were the questions that were being on kept repeated. And this is the situation we have on ground. And Faisal, we must have told you how the health minister, who flew all the way from Karachi after, I think, for more than 8 hours after the incident happened.
Faisal Kamal Pasha. So the Prime Minister also suspended the Federal Secretary, and we also saw that the Executive Director also faced very harsh question from the journalists. So. Uh, in Pakistan also there have been such kind of the committees that have been constituted, and but then I think that there was not any findings of such kind of the committees. So how you see that this committee will work differently and to find the conclusion and the root cause of this tragic incident?
That's a very important question. Uh, in I've been reading about it. In 2012, there was a similar kind of incident where the AC duct of the children hospital got fire, and many children were died due to the incident. And in June 2024, there was a similar incident in the Saiwal Teaching Hospital, and this is the third of its kind that happened here. The inquiry committees take so long to fix the uh, to fix the problem, and they to identify the culprits, but no concrete results we have seen from the previous incident as yet. Neither there has been any such results from the hospital incident, nor there is any such result from the Saiwal incident. So ultimately, what we've been seeing here, the inquiries would be done, the officials would be transferred, but the situation overall here does not change.
Mm. So this incident happened into the mother and child care of a very intensive care unit of one of the hospital that is in the heart of the Islamabad, the federal capital of Pakistan. The scenes and especially the parents who rescued their children by their own through different kind of the ladders and because we saw some very disturbing images on the social media where parents are taking out their children, newly born children, by their own. So, I mean, how you see this man? It's especially apart on the mismanagement and the sheer negligence by the hospital administration.
You are right about the negligence of the hospital administration, and I think uh, when there was an incident in 2012, there was another incident in 2024. The government should have adopted a protocol about to prevent such incidents, but nothing has been done in accordance with the precautionary measures that government should have taken to prevent such a situation. It was indeed, but as far as the Federal Minister for Health, Mustafa Kamal, presser who done here a few minutes before, and he's been saying that the fire engulfed the whole area in seconds. That there was no chance to prevent the life losses that it already did. So the uh, considering this situation and keeping this in mind that such incident already happened in different hospitals of Pakistan, we can safely say that to prevent such a situation, there should be adopted some protocols for the air conditioning of the nurseries because it is happening repeatedly.
This incident happened to the mother and child care intensive care unit. So my question is this: that such a sensitive department in which in which there is always being considered the most intensive care. So so this kind of the incident and the mismanagement, how it could happen, and how the real cause and the real mean that the responsible can be traced after this inquiry committee.
So the thing is that whenever there are babies or the patients in the picture, you put on cameras and you put on security cameras everywhere in the building, especially in the concerned areas. This has been the habit of either the public hospitals or the private hospitals. So this is a norm. The inquiry committee has been made and several questions are being asked, but the question remains the same as to how no medical official was there at the spot. If there were any medical official, if there were any doctor, because there were reports that there was some doctor who rescued some babies and then situation maybe got better, and because of the thing he did, the rescue he made, some babies were saved. But it later turned out to be wrong. It was sort of a fake news because it was not confirmed or no doctor came out. But I think the situation or the concerned culprits or those who have been involved in this incident can be put behind bars, or they can be questioned only if the security footage is available to media or to the concerned authorities, because in situations like these in the past you cannot access the hospital security footage, whether we talk about any other accidents and any other situations we had in the hospitals in the recent past. uh, the authorities have not been kind enough to share the concerned security footage, only to save the concerned authorities.
Hmm. So there's also very important that a few days back, the former Prime Minister Imran Khan was also brought into the same hospital for the medical checkup. So at the how you see, especially and the hospital who has such kind of, I mean that the negligence apart on the management. So how you think that this hospital would be safe for the high profile celebrities and especially the current incident, how you compare them?
That is also a very relevant question you have put about. Well, I would say I just inquired some of the legal experts about this. Although the Supreme Court of Pakistan directed the federal government to shift the incarcerated prime minister to a private, high-ended hospital in the federal capital. But as far as I've inquired to many of the senior legal counsels, and they replied that in the legal provisions, an incarcerated prisoner could only be treated at a government hospital, not at a private hospital. uh, and it is given in the law. And they just criticized the decision of the Supreme Court of Pakistan that allowed an incarcerated prisoner to be treated in a private hospital. And there have been several other applications that arrived in the Islamabad High Court. The prisoners asking their treatment in the private hospital instead of a government hospital. But given the fact the negligence, the standard of health facilities, this could be said safely and rightly that the facilities, the treatment facilities in the government hospitals are insufficient to treat some of the serious health problems. So, given in the law, a prisoner has to be shifted to a government hospital, but the facilities are insufficient. So I think the government needs uh, get its standards high in the and the treatment facilities should be enhanced in the government hospitals to enable them so that anyone, uh, any incarcerated prisoner could be treated in accordance with the standard operating procedure around the world.
So mostly we saw that in other countries there is a precedent that if such a kind of incident happened, or some such kind of the tragedies that took place, mostly the criminal homicides and the criminal negligence charges has been put, and the action would be taken according to that way. But unfortunately, in the country like Pakistan, we saw that there is not this kind of the practice that the criminal charges has been put on the responsible officials. and just by suspending some
I can't
officials,
hear you.
the matter had been postponed. So, how you see this?
Legal and the constitutional situation in Pakistan. Many inquiries being hushed up. Many findings have not seen the light of the day. Uh, so there is a serious problem about the system. Whenever there is such a tragedy that got its reason for the human negligence, a tragedy amounting from the human negligence factors, it should and it must be inquired about. It must be fixed. Responsibility should be fixed to the concerned officials. We witnessed the federal minister for health who came here for a presser, and people made a lot of hue and cry. Some of the journalists asked him to resign, and he was reluctant to announce his resignation. He said that I came here, I am going to present myself before the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and he would decide my fate. But he didn't agree to the proposition that he should be held responsible for this, and he would immediately resign.
Okay. So also ask Faisal about about a question that mostly if such kind of the incident happen, there might and there may be some sort of the criminal negligence and the even the homicide or this kind of the criminal charges has been registered against the culprits are accused. But unfortunately, in Pakistan, a high-level committee has been constituted, and after that, the matter would be deferred. So, how you see in this case whether the president would be going to change, or do you think that any criminal charges would be registered against someone?
So, as we speak, there is a meeting in the Prime Minister office going on right now as to who is the concerned responsible person. Several press conferences have been done since the morning. Either it was the Interior Minister of State or the Health Minister, several others as well. But the PM is chairing a meeting in the Prime Minister office right now and he's looking for answers according to the government officials I have talked to who are attending that cabinet meeting. Uh, the Prime Minister has asked for names. The Secretary Federal Health has already been suspended, but he has asked for the names from PIMS as to who were the concerned officials, doctors, paramedics, and nurses who were on duty at that time, along with the health minister. As Faisal told you earlier, that the health minister has presented himself as that he is ready for the accountability. But the question remains the same, and the same question is being asked by the citizens in PIMS right now, especially those who have been affected by this incident, and they are asking for the federal minister's resignation. But apart from this, people have been saying that the witnesses or the concerned family members, they have been saying that this is not something very out of the ordinary, because this is something similar to what has been happening in the past, and this has happened to in a hospital, but it has happened on roads before, other public institutions, or on several other public places. So, and they are asking the questions from the government.
Faisal, my question to you is this: that what is the public reaction and the public sentiment, and especially those parents who lost their newly born children? What is their reaction? Can you explain?
Right behind me, there are parents who are uh, dismayed by the situation, and they are in a very disturbing situation. They are protesting against the government. They are raising their voices. Um, Whenever a government official comes here to visit the site, they just encircle him. to lodge their protest. They are in a shock that they cannot digest quite easily. Surely it won't go quite easily. The death of a child is a very enormous kind of situation. So they are very disturbed, and we have seen many kind of reactions since morning from the parents who have been here to look after their children, and they are protesting about the situation.
Thank you, Pasha and Qurratulan, for joining me in this Eastern Horizon in this
Thank
program
you.
about the current situation that took place in Islamabad, where 14 children have been killed into the hospital after the fire incident, and the Prime Minister has suspended the Secretary Health, and a high-level inquiry committee has been constituted to find the reason and the cause of this fire that took place in Pakistan Institute of Medical Sciences, one of the largest government hospital in the heart of the Islamabad. Thank you very much for watching Eastern Horizon.